So I'm going back to give a little bit of context to this video. This was the first stage of us building out the website, and it was a total disaster. It was nothing like what we were looking for at all. So to summarize this entire thing, we ended up building and designing this entire website in-house. Jackson learned how to use Figma, and we redid all the graphics and then handed that off to a dev team to place the website and actually build out the website functionally. But this was the call basically that started off the start of that entire kind of fallout with this web developer or website designer. And basically it wasn't clearly disclosed that they were not a developer, they were just designing. And we have Jackson, who's like the best fucking graphics guy in the world, that basically handed everything off and it still wasn't right. So we ended up just going, fuck that, we're just going to redo all of it. So it was an absolute pain. And it was incredibly stressful during that time because we were doing it like late. Jackson was like working late at night. We were like learning how to do everything. This was back in November. So this is the context to this video. So that entire kind of response there, and then was the beginning of the end for us then going and doing our own thing. So roll it.
Okay, so I took a look at the first draft, and I'm just going to go through kind of my like top line notes on this. And I'm also including in the folder, in the link attached, I guess some update. I think there might have been, I must have not have been as clear in terms of the messaging for this. We're obviously being bold and like very like in your face, I guess, with some of the messaging, but it can't, this first rendition of the site to me comes across as just a little bit, it's too sexual. Like it's too focused on sex and not enough focus on the product. And so I know that's probably on our end, not providing you with enough information. So in order to kind of remedy that or clarify that, I've included the first draft creatives that are going to be run as our main ads, with the vocabulary behind there. And then something that I think it's described in the content, but I'll just reiterate it here because it does provide a lot of context in terms of the content and what we're looking to achieve with that. Is the main mission behind this brand is that relationships in North America are failing at a rapid rate. I'm somebody who has gone through a divorce. A couple of the other people that are shareholders in this project, we've all gone through divorce. And the big purpose, kind of the bigger idea behind Nymph is if we can create products that promote better intimacy between couples to basically save families. Like if we can save people from going through divorce and having their relationships treated as like disposable trash, that is ultimately the bigger purpose behind Nymph. But in order to get as much attention out of the gate as possible, we're going with like, obviously like our intro to our thing is this mattress fucks. But it's also not highly sexualized in the sense of like, it's not aggressively sexualized. And that's kind of the vibe I'm getting from this site, not in terms of like the emotions themselves and the imagery itself, but this is just like hypersexualized, whereas we're taking more of a playful approach and more of a seductive approach. I don't know, I hope that makes sense and that's translating in terms of what our purpose is, but I've included the creatives for reference to help walk you through that. So our first creative is the main ad is like a viral in nature 2.5 minute ad, where the script, every part of this, we've spent so much time curating the vocabulary here, and I think when you see this content, it will give a way better insight into how we are approaching this, because the last thing that we want is this to look like an adult only. It is adult only, like don't get me wrong with that, but we don't want it to feel like an adult site. And that's kind of with the imagery that I have here, or that you've outlaid here in terms of just the graphical elements. It's way too like hypersexualized. Whereas we want it to be very suggestive in nature and more upscale. So think like Louboutin, Louis Vuitton, like that type of a vibe where like Louboutin is the perfect example of this. And actually they use a similar color theme to us, but the entire, I don't know if you know much about the Louboutin brand or Christian Louboutin brand, but the entire basis of it was designed to create a red bottom heel to simulate the effect that a bull has when it sees red. And so it's to play off the male gender. As soon as we see red, we see passion, and it is sexualized. It's ultimately sexualized, but they do it in such a way that it's approached that the last thing you feel is like it's an adult brand, you know, like it's an erotic brand. And that's what I feel from this site. This feels like an erotic site. No one's gonna buy a mattress just purely for the fact that we're hypersexualizing it. Like that is something that we based on our market research and everything that we know about this space. No one's buying this brand for its use of having sex. We're trying to create a brand that people gravitate towards for that bigger purpose of saving relationships and intimately and intentionally approaching their life and their relationships, with our products being kind of the foundation of that. And we believe it all starts in the bedroom with your mattress. From there, looking at building out that suite of products over the coming 6, 12, and 18-month new phases, that is really what's going to establish us as a brand that people are invested in for the purpose of the brand. You know, it's much bigger than products. The products are, the launch products are, you know, a small part of what we're trying to build out here. I hope that makes sense. So I'm just going to go through the site here with the references that you sent over. Just pulling it up here. And I'll go through what I like and what I like, obviously maybe don't like. So it's just loading here. All right, got it up. So things that I like. The imagery, I know we don't have the final sent to you. I really do like the way that this is. Here's one thing that I know this goes counter to like all the e-com stuff and whatever. We are going with a blatantly authentic and honest launch. I do not want to fake 1,200 plus 5-star reviews. I want to be incredibly transparent out of the gate. The thing that is going to drive this brand is people understanding the authenticity of it. And that comes with us just being transparent to our customers. And I don't think we need to rely on fake reviews to get this thing sold. I think the reality is the true pandemic of North America is over 50% of marriages end in divorce, right? Everybody has a friend or themselves that have gone through a terrible relationship breakup, not even terrible, but just had the impact of breakup. It is devastating to the general public. Most people don't need someone to explain what that is to them. That is what we're relying on, is the community fostering, of building a conversation and community around that entire premise, right? To create and curate better relationships. So I don't like the 1,200 reviews plus. I think it's super inauthentic. You know, we could use 1 or 2 staged here and there. But yeah, I'm not a fan of that. I like the site itself. I think it looks good. I like the free shipping. I like all of that. And I like the layout. I like the buttons. I like the icons, the 120-night guarantee, free shipping, 10-year limited warranty. That's all great. And that's all industry standard. One thing I don't like is the Nymph mattress, bold, luxurious, sexual. I don't want that in there. I want the mattress. This mattress does more than sleep, or utilize some of that vocabulary that was on my initial web flow of what that would look like. Again, it's too sexualized. Then we're going down into the image with the guy grabbing the girl's ass. Not a fan of that at all. The imagery that you'll see in the ads that we put together, because we faked like a high shutter, a fast shutter speed. We're just showing shots of like shoes, heels, and a bed, or, you know, sheets and a normal stock image of somebody making a bed. But because we added like a slow shutter rate to it, it looks like it's like, oh, it's like attention grabbing. That's more along the lines. This is too obvious. We want more suggestive. Silken surface, how the drop down buttons come, that's fucking awesome. I love it. The only thing we're missing there is I would really like them in order based on our ads. So we've got adaptive response technology, a silken surface, Mystic Therm, Passion Perimeter, and then Whisper Weave technology. There's the fifth one there. That one's super important to get in that order based on our ad. Nymph, this mattress doesn't just sleep. This whole flow, again, I think it's probably because you don't have the assets yet, and we'll be sending those to you by Tuesday. But these are where these video blocks need to go. So Stephanie, who is involved in this as well, she's one of the spokespeople. We have two creatives for her that are basically just walking people through the Nymph purpose and what this means, and suggestive science and expectation science. And that's where we're going hard on, rather than the technological science. Technological science and mattresses is obvious. Everybody already knows they're going to get a comfortable mattress. So, and a mattress that they all do the same thing. The tech has been overplayed to the max. So we're focusing on that again, suggestive science, expectation science, and how that builds into the psychology of humans, and how they interact day to day with the mattress. So, the Nymph mattress, this mattress doesn't sleep, but that's going to be replaced with like a video block there. Every day, people spend 10 hours in their beds. What about those other two? I like how that is in there, but I would rather this as just small pattern disruptors. So in terms of taking up space like this, also so taking up space like this, I'd rather those little pattern disruptors being a little bit smaller and tighter. And then I guess the best way to explain this is we have internal dialogue and vocabulary, and then external front facing. That initial deck is more of an investor deck and an internal deck than it is for vocabulary used out front. And I think you'll get that from the ads when you see those reference ads that I've shared in here. So like, for example, since the beginning of marketing Modern Sleep Solutions, never has a mattress been marketed primarily for its use of fucking. That's internal, not external. We want that vocabulary to be like Nymph, sleep deeply, love deeper. Like those are the long-term plays that we're moving people in from this general creative that's like top of funnel, just going like, oh fuck, what the hell is this? And then they click and they realize, holy shit, there's so much more to this brand than just a mattress about fucking. It's not a mattress about fucking. It's a mattress that is looking at relationships as the center point. It's the foundational piece, and then we're building a suite of products around that. So again, probably on our end for not being as clear with that and what vocabulary to use, but the site that I sent is like with those sketches is almost identical to what we would like to see in the flow. I think we're like pretty tight on like the framework of that. And building out of that. So Nymph, sleep deeply, love deeper. I like that, but again, I think those should be pattern disruptors that are just, horizontal boxes, not taking up as much space this way. The science behind better sleep, that'll be a video block, excuse me, with Stephanie. Frequently asked questions. This is where I love the flow of this. I think it's great. And I think the text and everything works. I think we'll just send you what those actual responses are, and that'll be on me. So I'll make sure to get that to you ASAP. Ready to take back the bedroom. I like that. So between the FAQs and the email list, that's where we're going to have just a simple carousel of silhouetted images of what is coming in the phase 2 launch, which will be 6 months out from now. So just a sliding carousel of images. There will be a robe, like a bathrobe, a silk bathrobe. There will be a sheet set, a mattress cover, a pillow, and slides. So like slippers, like silk slippers. So those will be in there, and they're just going to be silhouetted as coming soon, not linking to anything, just a simple photo carousel. And then right below there is ready to take back the bedroom. Slide into our list, whatever, email list for access to new products and a dash of midnight magic in your inbox. I like that. I think that's perfect. There though, I think there should be an email block. and then a buy now button. I don't know if I'm a huge fan of the grays here. Again, maybe that's something to consider once we get the actual creative in there and how it looks. Just a lot of our backgrounds are on red gradients, like a red gradient pulse light, and then blacks is pretty consistent through everything. Yeah, and then again, so I guess this would be number one, so option number one. And I think it's my favorite out of all of them that you have, especially with the way everything is like laid out there with the mattress. So yeah, that's my feedback. I know that's probably a lot, and I don't know if you prefer this via text or video. I feel video walking through kind of captures it a little bit better. But that's my thoughts on that. If you have any questions from that, please let me know. I'm always happy to jump on a call. And we will have the 3D renders of the actual products by the end of this coming week. So I know we're like in crunch time. I have meetings with our manufacturers on Wednesday out of town, so I'll be traveling to that. So I'll have all the renders of the actual products themselves, and then we'll actually have like real products samples, which will be ready for the midpoint, ahead of the midpoint. But we are, like I said, doing this as pre-order, and Jordan's gonna run everything set up that way. So that is the plan. I hope that covers it all. Again, if you have any questions, let me know. I think we're definitely on the right path. I just think this, like I said, overall, just to summarize, things are just a little bit too sexualized, a little bit too erotica, and not focused enough on that deeper dialogue, that deeper long-term, like I'm sure brands can build off of, an interesting product for maybe 2 or 3 years. With Nymph, we're looking at building this out as like a legacy brand, so one that lasts for multiple decades. And you can't do that with just a product, right? So we're really out of the gate are selling this deeper meaning of what we're here for, our mission and our purpose, and how that will resonate with people. We think is going to be pretty massive. So that's something to consider. Our intent behind this brand, everyone involved in this project already makes great money elsewhere from other streams. I don't care. As the founder, I don't give a fuck about making $1 from this brand for the first 2 years. If we can sell 10,000 mattresses at cost, and save potentially 1,000 marriages, like that, to me, that is a brand worth working for, and something worth investing a lot of time into. So that's kind of the intent behind it. I hope that better illustrates, and I'm looking forward to seeing a draft 2.